Yes, we're live. Family, I bring warm greetings to Una. Today, that is 16th of June, 2024. The time on my side is 5:18. This program for don't start some 18 minutes ago. But my guest, who Una seen on my background, is running late. But he's a very decent man. Because he called me for let me know that he's running late and give me an estimated time, an ETA. So we know say definitely go come to the program. But just before I go, before can I also use this opportunity for congratulate and express my deepest appreciation to all my Muslim friend them, both known and unknown, but the Muslim world as a whole, for the celebration of Eid. May Allah grant all of us his merciful and bountiful blessings. Once again, like I say, today, now the 16th of June, it's a Sunday, 2024. The time on my side is 17:19, and we can have a serious discussion with a man who is the acting chair of a political party known as the NGC. So, Fambulem, please don't get turned off. Please encourage friends, family, and relatives for join the program. The flyer where we share, una try for share them. This link una they watch from, una also try for share them. I know say there are constraints in the sense that England they play today, and I know most of my football friends are going to be tuned onto England. But I believe say England they play 5 o'clock, but there's a game at England they play 8 o'clock. I believe there's a game at 5 o'clock. We go there on by now. But notwithstanding, Jesmed will be on the platform soon. So keep tuned. Do not touch that dial. Thank you. All right, Fambulen, once again, welcome to the program, the TNN TV media program. This now we podcast, and we get a very special guest. And like I tell Una, he's a gentleman. He kept to his words. He let me know, say, he run a few minutes late. So I'll pass that message on to Una. I can assure Una, I think Una get a brief glance of him just now. Well-dressed, well-prepared for the interview. And we got a few things that one can really talk about. Yeah. And you know it's not the background, Jess. So I know say the communication is all right. So as I've been to say, he is here. So we're going to talk about a few things. He outlined an energy policy quite recently, very impressive, but this is not new for us, for those of us who know the man in question. He's a policy analyst, so he's good at these things. So we want to get to the bottom of it. But before we get to the bottom of it, we get other things that will rub much on first. Because as a national person, as a public figure, I mean, he's been quiet for a while. But now that he's returned to the fray of things and is once more very vocal, very vociferous, very challenging, and they lay plans for a future, which is like many years away, that shows that the man is serious. So therefore, as Sierra Leoneans, we need for question such leaders. So on this basis, Fambolem, can I introduce to you guys the acting chairman of the National Grand Coalition Party, that's the NGC, Mr. Jesmed Sumah. Jesmed, I mean, you regalia where you get on. I mean, happy Eid in the first place, so I can understand the occasion and the dress code. It's very impressive. Happy that you're appearing on the platform. Welcome to the program. Hello to Fambolem.
Thank you for having me. I extend my special greetings to everybody. Sorry, I've been around common at the Eid. Say today I Eid day for we. So I extend happy Eid to all fellow Sierra Leoneans when they observe this day, and happy Father's Day to all the responsible fathers them. We know the value of fatherhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jesmed. Let's just go straight into the program. And Jesmed, I know say we get a few things then for talk about. Most importantly, where we go count on the energy policy, which is very impressive, like I said earlier, which you outlined. But obviously, you're a public figure. You're heading a major political party in an acting capacity, but nonetheless, very much more serious. A few years, I mean, not a few years, just a little over a year ago, or just a year ago, because we did in June, we began election in our country. Prior to the elections, the NGC formed a political alliance or strategic alliance with the government in power. There's a lot of things that has happened since then in which your party, the NGC, I don't want to call them an implosion, but a lot happened within. And you can see there's a public spat because we listen. And this is where we take some of we cue them from. Obviously, even yourself be making many statements in support of the government, how people and why people should vote for the government, and because you've been there in a kind of coalition, if you like. But that married day, seem to have gone well, because since you returned, you've been very vocal again, and you are a man not known for mincing your words. Where do you stand right now, Jesmed?
Well, I don't want to let this discussion be about alliance, because I've said so much about it. And as far as we are concerned, in the practical sense of it, we are not part of an alliance with any political party or this government. NGC is no longer part of an alliance in the practical sense of it. Now, I don't know if you have been know, say, there was a time where been on someone in NEC meeting when a requirement of the constitution that the NEC members then meet every quarter, and NEC get the mandate vested in them by the National Delegate Conference for take major decisions on behalf of the National Delegate Conference. And in that particular meeting, we've been planned, say, with a table the issue of an alliance to the National Delegate Conference, to the NEC members, despite the fact that we are practically not part of an alliance, but one for officially declare our exit from the alliance. Apparently, operatives then within we own party, we align with them and we don't left the party, and still they kind of look forward to the job dangling when they dangle to their face. After all this time, so still the hope still in the hidden job, then they machinate the process and use the connections within government and bring about 4 trucks of police now we office where we NEC members and we don't gather for votes, say officially we are out of the alliance. So as a result, the police then come threaten we, and being a peaceful party, a party where they obey law and order, the police will be therefore respect and demand say we exit we offices. When I question the rationale for them asking us out, then say we for obey police orders. And them in total gone. I'm telling you about 9 to 10 police then come upstairs now we office, and some of them holding live bullet, guns with live bullet. So another one puts the life of any of our members at risk. So I've been therefore comply. Luckily, we've been get some other national officials because I was really angry. I was raged and I was ready to die that particular moment. But some of the national officials members then prevail on me. So we talk to, we delegate them. We've been facing a temporary stuff. We've been to say, nah, just a temporary stuff for members and for go out. So we ask for members and for go out, let them they outside. The police say, no, that's not enough. We should shut down our offices. They literally came, forced us to lock our offices. And I was in my office as the chairman's office. One of our members, who is a blind from Pujaun, needed some help because of the chaotic environment. So I offered him for let go sit down in the office, let go able for get some air conditioning because the place be hot. No, the police went into my office. The head of the police in Central Police Station, packed down his name because time will tell. They think that they will do these things and then years down the road they just forget about it, but they're going to face consequences. There is no two way about it. Even if they don't face consequences from us, they will face consequences from the people that see them, that saw them. They will face consequences from God himself because they know that what they were doing to us was very unfair. But they were dancing to the tune of their masters, forgetting that over and above the mistakes of their masters, there is humanity, there is law, there is fairness, there is justice. No, that didn't matter to them. God didn't matter to them. The lives of our people didn't matter to them. The principles of fairness and justice didn't matter to them. All the matter that mattered to them was to kick us out of our offices, including those who call themselves Alhajis. They are the ones behind this thing. They're thinking that God that they worship is going to look at that and expect them to get away with it. So to avoid putting my life at risk and the life of especially of our members, we had to comply. Can you imagine somebody asking you to get out of your own bedroom, in your own place, in your own house? That's the synonym I can put to it. Going into my office, threatening to take me out of my office. I was sitting down behind my desk. They said, "No, get out." I said, "Why?" He said, "Just obey police orders." And I want history to remember that. We're going to write a report, and we're going to write the names of the individuals that we know are behind this. Let them go defend it tomorrow. That this action, for it not to happen again, because if we allow it to go under the carpet, then they will be bold to do it tomorrow. Each and every one of them, including their operatives that were in our NEC meeting, that actually instigated and tried to create chaos within the NEC meeting. The names of the very policemen, the names of the people in our executive that did it, the names of the people of those that backed them are going to be in the history books, the political history books of our nation. And I'm going to make sure it goes into the official history books of Sierra Leone when people are reading about the politics of Sierra Leone, so that their own kids and grandkids will learn the record that they played in derailing the democratic process in Sierra Leone. That's what we've not been doing in the past, because we allow people to get away with it. This time we're going to make sure it goes down in history, so that their great grandkids will remember these names. This is the reason why they did it. They wanted to create the impression that it was the SLPP. No, it's not SLPP. We know SLPP, the government does not care about us. So I don't know why we should even expect them to go. What benefit will it be for the SLPP government, for the SLPP party, for us to go derail our own NEC meeting? No, it was not them. It's operatives within our party that are aligned to SLPP that have left our party. They're the ones behind it, and we know that.
Yes, Jesmed, I'm happy that you express them in such, you're vocal in such vocal way. I mean, we can see the emotions and how much you feel about that. Suffice me again for ask you further more questions on this. And also you say the conversation here today is not going to dwell on what you talk about, because yes, you're right. You've addressed them many a times, but you therefore also agree with me that you not don't address them on this channel of yours. So we just ask the question because we self get we own followership. So even if you can be brief, that would be appreciated, and then we'll move to the other. But thank you so much. Another thing we want to go to quickly, just a matter of quick one, is the blames that have been thrown at you. But of course, part of the answer, the lengthy answer we provide just now, it also get for do with this question, because you get people them where they blame you, and then I want for belief say just like you say it come up from the inside. So in other words, something where they say that following the time where Dr. Dennis Bright resigned, when I believe in the main position where you occupy, you've been there on an extensive tour, because you're a man where you're out there on the radio, on the television, and etc. And we all see you up and down the country. They make the case. And you've been there assure people and say the structures of the party been there intact, and they talk about the NGC party. And there was no vacuum that needed to be filled. Everything was in place. But it turned out not to be true. Do you have a different perspective to this at this time? Because I believe, say, you've done a 360 or you've done a turnaround for what you be say initially.
Are you referring to my tour before the elections or after the elections?
That's correct. The tour before the elections.
Well, before the tour before the election, there was no vacuum until when Dr. Dennis Bright resigned and a few other members resigned due to the principle, because they were adamantly against us having alliance with the government that we've been opposing for 5 years, the government that is responsible for atrocious human rights abuses over the years. When you talk about Tombo, when you talk about the prison, when you talk about the killing in McKinney, when you talk about other stuff. So they were very, very disappointed, angry and bitterly against us having an alliance with such a government, which is for which I respect them because they took decisions on principle. I respect them for that. So if you're talking about the tour I had across the country before the elections, yes, our party was fully intact. There was no vacuum other
So
than
let's
those
talk about one.
few resignations.
Let me talk about the one after, because there were two phases. Yes, you did one pre and you did one post where Dr. Dennis Bright resigned. And you were also providing assurance about the party being intact, that there were no vacuum. You also provided assurance that then it turned out not to be true.
No. There are vacuums after the election, but the party is still intact. There's a difference. The vacuums that exist, and some of them existed because we filled them up, are already filled in by other people who are willing, ready, and determined to run the affairs of the party that are filling up those positions. There are few areas like the deputy chairman. By the way, this issue about acting needs to be clarified. There is an error in our constitution, which we hope to fix down the road. You consider somebody acting who is not elected into a deputy position, wherein the substantive chairman has gone on leave, whether in medical or annual leave, or had traveled out of the country or on a temporary out of the office, that is expected to return back to his office. That is, in that situation, the person who is sitting in that capacity is acting. But if the person that is sitting in that capacity, in that position, was elected, duly elected as I was.
Okay, I think we lost Jesmed there briefly. Yeah, okay. You're back, Jesmed. I can see movement. Okay. You froze briefly. And I think he's still frozen.
Sorry, there is some call I was coming through.
Okay.
Am I in now?
Yeah, you are in now. We can hear you loud and clear. But just for adding quickly, many thanks for that clarification. You see, the clarifications there, they're necessary. It can look sometimes like time consuming. But during that same period, the way you talk about, so I believe
exactly.
You try for arrest. Jesmed, do you hear me?
Yes. I hear you. Yes, I hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. That period, the way you try for clarify, a lot of things also happen. And just for clear the air once and for all, because in the future, when me and you, because there are many things that might go like for you from you in the future, which are policies that you're going to be outlining, owing to the fact that you don't begin to talk about 2028. But I just try for catch up, for filling the gap. So, you, Dr. Dennis Bright, will make some IEC appointments, and I think say you accuse him of, even though you've been in the position. Why would you be acting, you're in a position and somebody else they make the appointments? Did I get that right? At the top of the IEC appointments.
Which one are the IEC appointment? I don't understand that. What is IEC appointment?
So you know where Dr. Dennis Bright be the chair?
Yes.
Okay. So when you will make all them patrol and they, here na the country, you say, and you assure people and say the structure they together, and there was no vacuum.
Indeed, the structure is together.
Yeah, you just clarify just now that there's a difference between the vacuum. I'm reading into this that you are now saying, because it's convenient for blame Dr. Dennis Bright, now because now you appoint the interim election commissioner them, or whichever way you classify the IEC, for the failure of the party, the NGC, for progress to the flag bearer process. Does that make any sense to you, Mr. Sumah?
Who said that? When have I ever blamed Dr. Dennis Bright? Where you get the information?
This is what I'm reading. I read this publicly, and are they in touch with others? And this is just a question. So it might be true, it might be not. Because the point here is, Jesmed, when you assume the role of acting national chairman and leader, the question here is, waiting will stop you from appointing this new IEC. What will stop you? But what they are trying to say is, you've been a blame Dr. Dennis Bright because things did not go well. So therefore, you try to find a fall guy in Dr. Dennis Bright, where he no longer was occupying that position. You were in.
Man, you need to check your sources of information. I don't know of any IEC in the first place. I don't know of any time that I have ever blamed Dr. Dennis Bright for anything. I don't understand where that is coming from. So you better go
And you
back to your sources. Let them ask you. Let them explain better to you whatever they're trying to tell you.
and you're saying that you've never blamed Dr. Dennis Bright for anything. That's what you're saying here on this program.
No, no,
Okay.
I have never blamed Dr. Dennis Bright for anything. In fact, I admired not only him, including those who resign on principle, because I'm a principle guy, irrespective of the attack that I'm receiving from personal attack, going outrageously, but I still respect the principle. I'm a principle guy. Everybody knows me that. I don't bend my rules. I don't bend my principles. You know, if I'm going to change, I'll let you know I'm changing. And I'll give you the reasons why I'm changing. But when I say this is the principle we're going to follow, that's what we're going to follow. All right. Why do you think I'm not following Kanda Yumkela today? It's because of I'm strict on my principles. He's gone.
He's gone.
So let's go on. I'm listening.
Okay. Thank you very much for addressing that. I want to move on to something else.
For some reason, I'm not getting you.
Oh dear. So hang on. I know say you might drop just now.
Hold on.
I know say you might drop. So maybe you want to go back to your original.
Hold on. I'm not getting you. I am not getting you.
That's all right.
Hold on.
Still keep talking. I will still talk to Fambul and you continue try for fix your microphone.
Hold on. I'm not getting you. I don't know if you're getting me, but I am not.
Jesmed, me,
hello?
They get you. Yeah, me, they get you. You get me?
Yeah,
now?
but I'm not getting you. That's the problem I'm having right now.
I understand. So try to sort your problem from your end. All right. Jesmed just then at the background, they experienced some microphone issues. As soon as he sort them out, then definitely he's going to have to come back into the program. I mean, there were a few things that we did try for clarify, you know, but obviously the man has addressed it and say that he's never.
Okay, now I get you.
Yeah,
I'm getting you now.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. So I mean, they say I want to move on, you know, yeah, to something else. We now the situation where the country Mr. Sumah. Obviously, you were a part and parcel of the process of elections. You fielded a party and candidates, and according to the elections, it not go well from what you hear. And so, therefore, there's a committee where they look into the conduct of the election. We waiting come up from there now something where all man, even the Pekina village chef don't sabi now where they call tripartite. You want to talk to Fambul briefly about your own perspective of this entire exercise because you were down there. You watch, you witness. What do you say, sir?
Now, first of all, officially, the NGC party endorsed the formation of the tripartite to bring about, to help address the differences between APC and SLPP. The area we are against is when the scope of work of that particular tripartite committee was extended, giving the mandate was extended for them to be able to make recommendations for changes into our electoral laws. That was a territory which we did not endorse without our participation as stakeholders in the electoral process of Sierra Leone. So as a result, we wrote a letter to the Tripartite Committee. We wrote a letter to the Peace Commission that was initiating the process and copied members of the international community, expressing our dissatisfaction and requiring that we be part and parcel of the decision-making process. Initially, they didn't respond to us. So we followed that up a couple of weeks ago, together with two other political parties, NDA and NURP. We sent a letter to the Peace Commission, reiterating our concern about the fact that we are not being involved in any set of recommendations that are being submitted for the reform of our electoral system. They welcomed us to a meeting and followed that up with arranging for a meeting for us to meet with the Tripartite Committee, and we were supposed to also meet with the visiting ECOWAS team, the fact-finding ECOWAS team that was there. So we are asked to submit a list of our own recommendations. We prepared our own set of recommendations as a party, 8-point recommendations, very solid ones, which I'm willing to go into, that
Please
we
do.
consider to be we consider to be relevant and necessary for us to reform our electoral system laws, the laws in our electoral system, which we submitted to the other political parties for their input. And unfortunately, by the time we get to the meeting there, we have not received any input from the others. And of course, because we wanted to be welcoming of the other political parties, we are not part and parcel of this initial step. The initial move was made by NGC, NURP, and NDA. So eventually, when we got the response from the Peace Commission, we decided at that meeting, we agreed to open it up and welcome the other political parties. And of course, you know, Sierra Leone, there are more followers than leaders. And even the followers don't even know how to follow, because they will eventually want to come take the lead of something they don't even know, have a clue about. So unfortunately, our Secretary General was had a burial, and he left town when the meeting was called. And the NURP chairman, whom I was counting on to take the lead, fell ill. He was seriously ill. I spoke with him on the phone. He was really, really under the weather. So then you have those so-called upper guys leading the discussion, which to me was a flop, because in the first place they were not even giving seat. They were not giving a seat to sit down. They were standing like people called to give testimony in a court of law. That was the ridiculous way they humiliated them. And they sat down. They stood there like prisoners in front of the Tripartite Committee members, and they were given few minutes to address the Tripartite Committee, and that was the end of it. I was so angry, and man, I couldn't express how much angry I was when I saw that scene, standing in front of the Tripartite. They are equals. We are equals to all the other political parties, APC and SLPP. Why should we be standing and they're sitting down and they're asking us to go address them and give them our own set of recommendations? I would have walked out. I would have addressed them. I would have addressed them right in front of them, including in front of the international community, and walk out of the meeting if they don't give me seat somewhere to sit. That was so insulting. And I understand that, what do you call it? Kefala Mara made some derogatory comments. I've not been able to verify those comments yet. If I verify those comments, Kefala Mara will going to hear from me.
Okay.
Now let me go into the examples of what NGC is proposing in terms of the changes that we want into the electoral system. Change number one, we are saying that we should do away with the PR system, because the PR system as its current form was designed by APC and SLPP to eliminate the other political parties so that they can limit the political space only to those two political parties. As evident by the results of the 2024 elections, they were able to achieve that. But they're not going to be able to silence parties like NGC party. So we are requesting that we should do away with it. If on the other hand, they still want to go with the PR system, we are requesting that the threshold be dropped down to 5%. Like it's done in advanced nations of the world that are more advanced than us, that have practiced it with a lot of experience. In Italy, they have a stable government. In Israel and other parts of the world, South Africa, we see the typical example of South Africa. So what we are saying is that if you want to continue with the PR system, reduce the threshold from 11.9% to 5%. However, if we do away with the PR system, recommendation number 2 is that we should never have a runoff. Having a runoff creates 3 things. 1, it is very costly. 2, it makes the election bloody because the winner take all. So everybody will be employing all sorts of tricks and violence and techniques they can do to win because the winner take all. And it is not good for peace. We are recommending that when you have the first round Any party that fails to meet 50+1% to form a government is required to go into an alliance with other political parties that may have won a few percentages to form a coalition government. So if you fail to go into an agreement with other political parties on terms to form a government, then you will not form a government. So any of the other parties that can come together and be able to form a government meets a 50+1%. Those group of parties can form a government. So what will that do? It will create a constitutional mandated alliance, constitutional mandated coalition, so that you have to do everything to keep your coalition together. And if any one of them pulls out, you drop below 51%, and then you will have to now form another government. You have to now go into an election. So you will not be able to do that. That is recommendation number 3. Recommendation number 4. We said this area about having the Electoral Commission determined entirely by themselves the people that are going to run the elections in all the different districts without the involvement of other political parties is part of the flaws that we are experiencing. First of all, we need to have changes in the way the commissioners are appointed. There has to be some serious review of the process, because the people that drafted our constitution, and I will put this on Abulai Conte, who was vice president at the time, I was hoping to be able to control the executive branch, put in a lot of loopholes in our constitution that will allow the executive branch to control the other branches. And one of those loopholes are the appointment of the electoral commissioner, wherein he says, in consultation, there is no mandate there. In consultation, that's why Madabio is saying that if I send you email or I send you a phone call, I ask my secretary to call you that I've appointed, so that's consultation. That's what he's interpreting it to be, even though that's not the way we interpret it to be. But because of that loophole that Abulai Conte inserted in our constitution, which he was hoping to use if he had become president, is what the other parties, the other people are using now against our democratic system. We are saying that should be fixed. And then, right now, as we speak, based on the review, according to one of our members that got involved in this, over 70% of those who were given the mandate to run our elections in 2024 were all aligned with the SLPP party, and they were all dominated by a specific tribe. So how do you expect any fairness to prevail in such an environment? So we are asking for that to be changed. We are also asking how to address the issue of violations of electoral laws. We have situations when you have people will go to polling stations and polling centers and destroy ballot box when they know that they are going to lose the election, so that the Electoral Commission will cancel that particular election. It happened to us 3 times in constituency 110. At constituency 110, we participated in an election, and you have SLPP thugs, including some of their SLPP ministers, that were on video going into a polling center, destroying ballot boxes, stamping on them, and the spineless, immoral electoral commissioner we had then, that Mr. Conte, did not have the guts to cancel that particular polling center just because they knew if they had called the election, APC would have won, and he didn't want APC to win. So he canceled the entire election. And we, NGC, who spent over $15,000 to partake in that runoff, lost that money, and we have no line of redress. And we saw the people who perpetuated the violence to lead to that. So we are saying parties that are involved, individuals that are involved in an electoral process, that are victims of any act of violence or any cancellation of an election, we should have the right to sue not only the other party that is involved, but the individuals that participated. We should have the right in our laws, so we take civil action against them. Because relying on the police and relying on the ECSL, Electoral Commission, controlled by the ruling government, when the issue is benefiting the ruling government, they have never taken legal action against perpetrators of violence, because they see themselves as serving the interest of the ruling government instead of serving the constitution of Sierra Leone. So we are saying in our laws, in our electoral laws, they should allow the victims, like if somebody go attack you, if for allow you when they attack, or like sue the person will attack you, when you win an election, like when we NGC participate in that election day, we lost plenty money, not only cause the fact between APC and SLPP, but we participate, we lost money, we put candidates there. We forget the right for sue APC if na APC cause the violence, sue SLPP if na SLPP cause the violence, like in this case, na SLPP been cause the violence, and sue the people then when SLPP talks them, we actually participate in that violence there, for not go carry them go to court for recover our money. That change they will request for under the electoral laws. The fifth or sixth one, we say, again, the issue about political violence. They see say, anytime election come, because of the rotten electoral system where we get, it will make the issue of election a do and die issue, a do or die issue. So people, they put their life on the line, do all kinds of trick for them to win. Because they see, like I say, now a democratic process where one person get for win, one person get for loss. As a result, then they deploy and talks them for go attack. And usually, if not talks their way align with the ruling party, police and ECSL, no, they do nothing. But then they give reason to the opposition for self-emboldening themselves and retaliating violence because they can't rely on the police. They can't rely on ECSL. So all we are saying that we should put in our laws requiring political parties to secure a political risk insurance, failure of which, if any of you talks them go destroy somebody in motorcar, destroy somebody in house, or attack somebody violently because of politics, then go sue your party for let you pay damages. So if you get insurance, the insurance will cover the damages. Then go fix the person in motorcar, or then buy new motorcar for them, or then fix the person in house, or then take the person to hospital. If you not get insurance, you party then go responsible for pay that damage day. If you party will pay that damage day, then go shut them down. So as a result, parties then will be responsible for make sure say they not get talks the way they go for go perpetrate violence in the name. So then go find way for discourage the members them, and then talks them not for go out for go attack other people them. So as a result, we were able to get a much controlled and peaceful election because there is a consequence for any action when they go take against the laws, electoral laws of the country. The last one, 7 or 8, we talk say the global world. The world is a global village. We get people them when are Sierra Leoneans, born-bred Sierra Leoneans, bona fide Sierra Leoneans, peace-loving Sierra Leoneans, patriotic Sierra Leoneans, when they are the diaspora. I don't see no reason why we for say them people and they not forget the right for contest election na salon. We say the laws them for allow that. And in addition to that one day, we get other countries like Senegal. They get over 3 or 4 presidents then. You get was it Senghor? Yeah, from Senghor, then send them. They come to Macky Sall. They come to other presidents. Where they are all the dual citizens. But that don't spoil them country at all. Dual citizens, French citizens, they come back to Senegal and run as president and win election. And today Senegal 100 times better past we. So what not the thing where they can talk say Sierra Leone were born inside Salone, grow up inside Salone because they go out for go fend better because they don't get dual citizenship enough for contest election as Salone. We say them for include that one day now electoral laws allow Sierra Leoneans them for contest election. The final one now for diaspora vote. Ebo, plenty of African countries from South Africa to Ghana to Cameroon to all the other countries they only allow the diaspora and say, Guinea next door. Guinea next door. When they say election, people in the go to the embassy in Guinea Salone, then go vote. Ebo Salone, why we politicians them block so? Why then so selfish and to the country? Not all we they do. Because they're self-centered, they care no more about themselves. They're just worried because they're from the failure. They know say they can't deliver results. They can't fix the problems of Sierra Leone. So they feel threatened by the diaspora. So then they put now they own now make you get one half bake one way come out what you can call them one Abdullah something way come out from Lusar 110. He makes some stupid remarks at 110 against the diaspora. That's not the myopism where they exist now with political now with House of Parliament. They do nothing in Parliament. Do nothing. They not get nothing in the show saying they contribute to the nation in development. They do nothing in Parliament. Now no more with their parliamentarians. They before not get brain that they hate them. And then no more they can't begin say Salona for develop. They say no, as long as they're not parliamentarians, Salona for develop. Anything for make Salon develop, no, then they block them.
You look on fire this evening.
No, honestly, then because the country have potential, bro. The potential where Salon get. If we get the right leadership, wallahi billahi we will pass Nigeria. I tell you for nothing. Because by the data, by the metrics, economic data then they give you 5 to 10 years, we will match Nigeria. Not in terms of the volume of money when Nigeria gets to, but in terms of per capita income, in terms of when Canada data then they healthcare, education, they can stop them. They give it 10 to 15 years. We will conquer them. We will beat Ghana.
Yeah, Jesmed, I mean, you make quite a strong case. I just want to push on 1 or 2 things before I go to the next one. And I just 1 or 2 out of the 8, which is well articulated. One of the things where you talk about is the issue of dual citizenship. But I believe, in a case of dual citizenship, it will make sense that if you're not dual citizen and then put restriction on you, and I'm just expressing my opinion on this because I do have a strong opinion on this. If you then put restriction on you for occupy certain threshold in a government or a country, I don't think that is bad, because if you do hold dual citizenship and you hold such a critical position, it becomes compromise or conflict of interest. Where really does your allegiance lie? Don't you see it that way, sir?
That is true, but yes, it depends on what constitutes the dual citizenship. There is a difference between somebody who is a naturalized citizen of Sierra Leone that have dual citizenship, from somebody who was born and bred in Sierra Leone, grew up in Sierra Leone, up to an adult position, like you have in the UK. If somebody is born in the UK, they're not a UK citizen. If their parents are not UK citizens, you have certain criteria that you have to meet before you qualify to become a UK citizen. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Good. So similarly, if you are a dual citizen, there has to be criteria. What constitutes the level of dual citizenship? Not naturalized citizen. I'm talking about natural born Sierra Leoneans, whose parents are Sierra Leoneans, who were born and bred in Sierra Leone, who grew up to an adult stage before they go out. They already know the languages, they speak the languages, they know our culture, they participate in our activities. There are going to be stringent guidelines for somebody to meet that threshold, for you to qualify to run as a member of parliament, even to run as presidential candidate in the country. It's happening in other countries, and they are not having any problem.
Yeah, but at the same time, it happened in other countries, like I think it was in Australia or Canada, in which the guy actually worked his way up to becoming the president or the prime minister, but it was later found that he had some dual citizenship, or there was some conflict, and that was
Australia.
Yeah,
that was Australia, because their laws does not allow it. I'm talking about the situation where the laws.
Then, Jesmed, why, if we law not allow that, why should we, sort of try for, act as if our laws are no more better, than other people in law?
Well, because other people have done it and have gone and it's worked out for them, especially in Africa. Because there is a difference. Let me tell you the problem we are having, which people don't understand. If I live and grew up in a village and I know nothing that is development as compared to other parts of the world, because I've never been there, and even I've been there, I've never lived there to experience how their system of government works, how laws are changed, how things are done for them to get better. I live from that village. And then they give somebody money to build highway, 3 lanes or 5 lane highway that passes through my village. And that person take that money and build a road that can take motorbike, only motorbike. Because I never used to have a road that motorbike can ride on. I never used to have a road that bicycle can ride on. I will still hail that person and clap for him for creating a road for motorbike, even though that the money that was given to him was for 5 highways. Because to me, from zero to motorbike road is something. But somebody who has lived, like some of us that have lived abroad, know how systems work. They give you money for 5 high road. Even from that village, I will ask you where the rest of the money goes. So that is the situation we have, especially with our parliamentarians. Most of them are not exposed, and most of them are not prepared to read and expand their knowledge so they'll be able to bring those ideas to bear on the changes of government. So as a result, we are tied down and limited by their limitations. So if we don't open the space, we are doomed. Israel, they do it. In other parts of the world, Senegal, as I mentioned earlier, they do it. But forget about presidential. How about parliamentarian? Why should we restrict the aspirants to participate in the making of the laws? Is that too much to ask for? That's not too much to ask for.
No, I don't think it's too much to ask for, and the advantages should be considered as against the advantages. So
exactly.
Well put. But in your 7 or 8 points again that you put, before we move on to this energy thing that I really want to talk about, you made quite a strong case there. But the shock and surprise there will be one that sounds almost hypocritical. And I say so with no disrespect and no offense, because you have been a victim of the political situation in the country. You were in prison, I believe, unduly, unlawfully, under the All People's Congress government of Ernest Bai Koroma. So it's a system that you're familiar with. And I say this because leading up to the election, after the election, the just gone election, you were actually endorsing a candidate who you were familiar with all the systems that you're talking about, knowing that they are very unlawful, unjudicial killings, and etc., etc. But now that everything, is gone topsy-turvy, here you are advocating, for these changes, which is not really bad. But why didn't you, or people that will ask, the question, Jesmed, why you not be advocate these things that, kind of earlier on? Because it's not like you didn't know. You're not just doing your due diligence now. You're a smart man. You knew these things, didn't you?
Knew what? Well, listen.
I can tell you what. I just said it.
Hold on. We got to address issue in context. I say this in Creole so people all understand.
Thank you.
We all know Mada Bio has been a failed leader since the time when I've been junta leader. He has been a failed leader. Mada Bio, where he run the first 5 years, he has failed the people of Sierra Leone. We all know that. Man will get over $18 million, according to Samura Kamara. He go out of the country. He can't pull. Now they go give $4 billion economy for running expected for commodity. We all knew that. But the situation will be exist in 2024. Be warrant for some of we to get an open mind. One, we get a leader where we trust. Not to matter who we trust, let we know that. Me personally, not to matter who me fala. Na kande yomukela, na in we been trust. Na in judgment we been rely on. Na in advocate and convince we. Say, you don't get full assurance from Madabio. Say, if we support going into an alliance, we go sign an agreement where they guarantee we say we go form a joint government in this last time where they run so. Now we insist say that agreement not for Talek, the agreement between PMDC and APC when are oral. Enough for Talek, the gentleman's agreement between PDP and Dr. Tijan Kaba when are oral gentleman's agreement. We want we own agreement to be written. And I say no problem, we'll go write them. Then say we not only write them, we'll go make them public, we'll call the entire dunya Let them witness. Say this will mean them. They put yourself in your own position. Compare and contrast. A gentleman's agreement under Tijan Kaba was respected. Nobody knew what was agreed. A gentleman agreement. I don't care what you say about Anes Kroma. He behaved as a gentleman with the agreement with PMDC. He respected it. Nobody knew what was written between them, but he respected it. Now, in this one, we not only get a gentleman's agreement, we go elevate them into writing. That was not enough. We call the entire nation for support them. We publish the written agreement. If you don't have your own position, you know, we'll give them some little chance. The second one, we see what happened a few months before the election, where the biggest opposition at the time did not have, and perhaps they still do not have, control of the grassroots. The grassroots was being controlled and managed by some folks out in the diaspora that are inciting violence in the country. That way they don't get power at all. They don't get control over the police. They don't get control over the army. They don't get control over anything. August 10, they unleashed destruction on the nation. Even though some of their action and some of them was triggered by the way the police react to them. But still, killing occurred. I did not see any single person in the APC leadership that stood up and condemned those atrocities that took place at that day. So I sat and I thought about myself, hey, if these guys, when they didn't have control of the police and the army, if they have control now, within the next 48 hours, only God knows the number of killing that will happen within that time before the police can take control. So I didn't want to be part of a situation, irrespective of how eager I am to have control over the leadership of the country. But I wouldn't want blood to be shed for that. I don't want people to die on account of my desire to be leader. So I said, let me give this guy a chance. Let me listen to what Kande is telling me, because he started with Marabio, listen to him. Maybe there was some soul connection between the two of them. And since we believed in Kande Umkela at the time, we trusted his judgment at the time, we decided to follow suit with him, because we didn't want the party, especially me, I didn't want the party to just disappear and disintegrate as it was happening. So I needed to step in to fill in the vacuum created by Dr. Dennis Bright. Otherwise, NGC would not have existed today if I hadn't done that. So those were the reasons. Because I thought with the opportunity to be part of a government, we will be able to inject our own ideas, the recommendation, the policy ideas that we have, like this issue about energy. If NGC was part of the government, we will not have this problem we are facing right now. If NGC was part of the government, we will have addressed the shortcomings we are experiencing in education. We will have addressed the issue about healthcare, because we have master sabi people inside we party, we understand how to fix system and how to build system. But they're not giving the opportunity. So there are two reasons in there.
So we will come to that. We will come to that shortly. But the question here now is, I absolutely agree with you. In everything that we do, context matters. But even with the context, you self outline them. This was a brigadier who went away with 18 million, and many other things them happen. But of course, you decide for do the benefit of doubt, and when person do the benefit of doubt, and it doesn't work well or work at all, then can get regrets. Do you hold any regrets, Mr. Sumah?
Regret
about your relationship, your exercise, for bring this government.
Oh, of course. Of course. Regret is an understatement. Now that make I extend an apology to every Sierra Leonean who believed in us at that time. We been listening to we at that time. We been listening to we at that time. Say, let them know, say, we in NGC that are still holding up to the party, we are equally victims as any one of una. And people like we sit down face to face, when they lie to we, they deceive we. Una better la television na area, una better na campaign ground na area, How about we where she don't face to face, they lie to we. So we are victims as equally as una. But we not going to exonerate ourselves, we're not going to exclude ourselves from the blame, because now we've been a mouthpiece for sell the lie to una, for sell the deceit to una. Like a miso, I was in the heart of it. So I extend my sincere apologies. But I want to know, say, the NGC of yesterday, not the NGC today,
Yeah,
the NGC, now a more solid NGC, like where you they put fertilizer and plant, it germinates good one. Now that time, because because you got to remember, say, NGC is composed of people from APC, people from SLPP, where they first get their first allegiance, plus we were now independent, they will not belong to any of them two parties. We can now come from NGC. So now as we speak now, yes, go ahead.
Let me put this to you, Jesmed, in the same vein, the same tone. I didn't mean to break you mid-riff, but I want to continue on this pattern using questions that have been asked by people in the chat room. We get something for do with what you talk, so at least they feel inclusive. So there's a question on your screen now, as you can see. What is the NGC plan for Unite Sierra Leone and the diaspora? How do you plan to build back trust with the people? Because you seem for them in campaign mode as well. You know, you're many years, you know, you're to 2028. But I'm not
campaigning. You should know me. This is the way I talk all the time. I'm not campaigning. This is not campaign. I say this. The same truth I'm speaking now is God I'm going to speaking.
Yeah, but you're talking about the party's future and what the party stands for. That's selling.
But that's what political. But no, that's what political parties are supposed to be for. People, so, political parties in opposition, supposed to be able to tell the people what they are standing for and what they are going to bring in different from what is existing.
Why do political parties do that?
They do that because they're supposed to be able to see themselves as a government in waiting. So they're supposed to portray to the voters that they are ready to take off governance if they continue, the failures of the current government continue. That's why you should be able to do that.
Yeah. So what is the NGC plan? Just for go back to the chat room for Unite Sierra Leoneans, them and the diaspora. And how do you, as a chairman, acting chairman, hopefully you become the chair, hopefully you become the next president of Sierra Leone, how do you plan to build back trust with the people?
You see, the issue of trust needs to have a root. Trust is not given for free. It's not like a gift. Trust has to be earned. You have to. There are people who don't understand us alone. You not trust me back. I want they tell me why I for trust you. They just assume say for just trust them. They don't say trust has to be earned. And the same applies with the NGC party. We therefore earn the trust of the people to let them go trust with. Especially at this stage here, so we don't mess up. We don't be part of the selling of lies. So we get a lot of work ahead of we. So how do you begin to examine trust of a party? You begin to examine trust of a party by examining the leadership of that party. The individuals that represent the image of the party. Examine them. If they are not trustworthy, know that that deceitful nature that they have, they're going to bring it to bear on the party. Let nobody fool you. Sometimes we are in denial because somebody can speak so well, so eloquent. You think because of that eloquence, you don't take the time to examine their character, their ethical character. And that's what some of us have been doing all these years. So when you're examining a political party, if the leader that leads that political party is not trustworthy, I am telling you, don't trust that party, yeah? If the leader and the people that are within that party that are putting themselves out to be the face of the party, the individuals are not trustworthy, don't trust the party. With respect to the NGC party, we are doing our best to make sure that we have trustworthy leadership. Right now, we do have few shortcomings because our party is composed of people that still have their first allegiance to SLPP, that are part of the NGC, first allegiance to APC that are part of the NGC, and those of us who have never been part of any of these two political parties that are committed to the future of Sierra Leone that are part of the NGC. So there is this challenge of navigating our process such that we can bring everybody together. But we have to deal with the forces within that think that we should be dancing to the tune of the SLPP, especially when you consider the fact that there are some people who are still part of our party who are slavishly still sold and committed to our former leader who was part of our party. So they think they are doing the job of the former leader to undermine the operation of some of us that are committed to moving the party forward. But we're going to continue to resist them. And that's why they were able to succeed to bring police to disperse us our next meeting. Then you have those who will look at you in every different suspicious way the moment you try to do anything that is commending, anything that is good that the government is doing. They say, oh, those are the APC mindset people now. They say, oh, you want go to Kane Yumukela. Then another thing I just discovered, you have people whose ultimate goal, not NGC, the ultimate goal, not the country, the ultimate goal is how they can use their position in NGC to sell themselves to the ruling party, to the government, so the government can see them say they are fighting for the government inside NGC. So they will be attacking the chairman, attacking people in NGC, cursing them in the name of, say, the country interest. Behold, they were laying foundations for the government to see them. So they are accusing us of wanting jobs. That's why we are attacking the alliance. But little did we know, they were attacking us because they want the people in alliance to know that they are in line with them so they can give them jobs. Some of them are beginning to go away right now. And we are saying goodbye to them. Okay. We're saying goodbye to them because NGC is going to remain NGC. The core principles of our party, we're not going to waver from it. As long as I remain chairman, I don't know about the future, but as long as I'm chairman, the core principles of this party, we will uphold it and strengthen it, build on it, spread it, and bring more people that think Sierra Leone. Our party, let me explain this for people to know. It's a nationalist party.
I was just going to say, if this is not campaign mode, if this is not campaign
mode, it's not campaign mode. People need to know. People need to know the new NGC. NGC is a nationalist party. We are committing ourselves to defend the name, reputation, and image of Sierra Leone in everywhere within Sierra Leone and outside Sierra Leone. Our local domestic policies, our economic policies, our foreign policies as a party and when in governance is going to be dictated by protecting the interests and the rights of Sierra Leoneans. Under our government, you will not have any Air Senegal dumping Sierra Leoneans in Senegal and abandon them after they paid their ticket without a consequence. You will not have Air Morocco or Air Turkey abusing and disrespecting Sierra Leoneans because they know there is no government to protect them. They will not do that to Nigerians. They will not do that to Guineans. They will not do that to Senegalese because they know the government of Senegal and Nigeria will stand up for their people. But in Sierra Leone, because we have a government who does not care about Sierra Leoneans, all airlines can abuse our Sierra Leoneans under an NGC government. Is never going to happen because we will shut down that airline and create the airways for another airline that respects our people. A nationalist government that respects the rights of Sierra Leoneans inside Sierra Leone and outside Sierra Leone. A nationalist government that is going to ensure that our economic policy protects the interests of Sierra Leoneans. There are businesses in Sierra Leone that are now controlled by foreigners that serves as the vessel through which the economic blood runs. The foreign exchange, Western Union, you want to tell me, say, Salomon and Osabi run down there, bo? Pass foreigner, they can dominate them. MoneyGram, they not get, all land they are foreigner, they not dominate them. Inside Ethiopia, you know, they ever see foreigner run money exchange system. You know, they ever see foreigner run certain businesses. Inside retail shop, you get small shop them. person they come out from India, they come out from Lebanon, they come out from China, they come out from anywhere, they import goods them. There is sending cousin, he open shop yonder, he's sending brother, he open shop yonder, he's sending his son-in-law, he open shop yonder. Then Sierra Leone and they don't want for buy, they're not able for their name. Distribution of imported goods and services. You get the power for import the goods, you get the power, the capital for bring the goods. Sell and wholesale. The retail aspect is going to be controlled by Sierra Leoneans under an NGC government. That's, in fact, there is a law, in 1967 law, that says inside Ethiopia, anything that happen. Other countries in the world don't read, but you know what happened? The nationals control their own economy. Now, Sierra Leone, they say the 60% of our economy is controlled by foreigners.
Yeah, but
just because of the failures of leadership.
Jesmed, while that is true, but you use the word nationalist, and people will expect you to know at least better when you use the nationalist and try to draw a distinction between a nationalist and a patriot. Because when you talk about nationalist, you talk about people the way they act in their own interest, but at the detriment of other people's interest in other nations. Whereas
no, you are getting it wrong.
How am I getting it wrong?
When you talk about nationalist, when you talk about nationalist, now people them we committed, unwaveringly committed to the protection of the interests of the nation.
Yeah,
and that is what I am.
Jesmed, after the show, maybe you go on for look the two words and let not be labeled.
No. Don't mix up the issue about nationalists from fascists, because the fascists then they claim the word nationalist. So the liberals they want to combine the two and define nationalists as the actions of fascists. No,
that's not what I'm doing. There's a distinction between patriot, a person the way you describe as such, we vehemently stand for the country and their interest and go fight and die for them, but not necessarily to the detriment of other people and other interests them where you can work with. There's a distinction. But I'll not be labeled on that. Let's
No. If other interests, then listen, let's clear down the clear. Let's clear down this.
Let's clear it.
When we talk about nationalists, we are talking about anything when of good interest to the nation. So if that interest they were good for the nation, now a foreigner the brand can we embrace that? You understand what I'm saying? The interest of the nation is what stands paramount for a nationalist. So if a foreigner, they bring income, they open factory, they open businesses where they help the nation for rise, we will embrace it. But for go sell the meat in a small shop,
oh yeah, absolutely. But that does not mean that you have to be a nationalist. A nationalist means you act in your interest against the detriment of others. A patriot.
No. That's the liberal definition. No, that's the anti-fascist. That's the anti-fascist definition of a nationalist.
Jesmed,
when I talk about nationalist, let me explain to you my definition of nationalist. Let me explain my definition. When I talk about the nationalist, let me explain this.
But hang on, let's not speak over each other. And you don't explain it over and over. So, I mean, we have to move forward. The idea is we can go to Webster, we can go to Oxford, we can go to Britannia.
Okay, let's go further. Let's continue.
Nationalists and fascists. No. Okay, G, many thanks for that. Somebody send me a text, you're asking a question that you as chair of the NGC or people within the NGC, let's say theoretically, if NGC were to come to power, or other party that come to power or within a power already, will you, they use you as an example, will you or people within the NGC resign them positions within the NGC for serve in government positions such as ministerial or any other positions? Because the person they say that constitute conflict of interest. Will you, subscribe to this person in view? Say, Jesmed, will you, stand as a minister after you cheer for the NGC? You go hold two positions?
No, I don't. First of all, in our constitution that somebody not for own two positions within the NGC party. For instance, if you become a member of parliament, you cannot become an executive member of any organ of the NGC party. So that same rule they can apply in this situation. That if somebody is appointed for serve in any capacity in government obviously you cannot serve in any capacity in the executive level of the party. So that answers the question.
Yeah, so no, just away from the executive level, there are other positions as well which are not considered executive, right?
Such as what? Such as what?
You know, I'm asking you. I don't know. It's a question.
We're talking about executive level, executive from the national, region, district, constituency, and ward. All those areas, they are the leadership of the party. And NEC, those are all the leadership of the party. So you're not going to be able to serve in any of those capacities.
You're not going to be able to serve in any of those capacities. Many thanks. You're just addressing somebody who expressed that concern there. Many thanks for that. There are many other questions for you na the chat room. I mean, people are so interested in asking you questions. I don't know whether we're able to cover all, because I need for us to go to this energy policy. Let me see whether we can take one or two more quickly. Ask him what happened when they joined COP. Ask him what happened. I think he's addressed this, Mr. Nyale, many a times when they joined COP. Let's see. I was part of the NGC. NGC has nothing to tell me again. NGC will continue to be a failed party, mark my words. That's Sorikabo Albert Fuji. What stopped the government from owning their own airline after 63 years? This is not what you can talk about, because a lot of things that you talk about is policy, or can be articulated as policy, or policy makers.
Well, first of all, the person who say that first word saying I've been part of NGC, they are not part of NGC. They were never part of NGC. You see, they have SLPP operatives. You understand, eh? They have SLPP operatives who come and make so derogatory comment, because to them, they were expecting NGC to have been dead now. The fact that NGC is still alive is a pain on their back. I don't want to use the word on television. But let me come to this question. The question is here, why can't Sierra Leone own its own airline? For own airline, it gets a lot of issues that we need to address. One, it is very capital intensive. A country unable to address healthcare, unable to address electricity, unable to address transportation, unable to address education. Now you go talk for go run airline. So that's one, the capital aspect. The second one is the management of the airline. We need to manage State House. We need to manage House of Parliament. We need to manage ministries. We need to manage emergency relief agency. We need to manage anti-corruption for let's serve the people. Now airline will be able to manage. The third one, for let the airline go able to get the right for land at different airport then. It needs security requirement the way you need from it. You airline get for be short your airport and the plane themselves get for be fitted with certain technology then for avoid terrorism. Sierra Leone is far, far, far away from imagining itself to run an airline. But that does not mean Sierra Leone cannot do it. And I will tell you how Sierra Leone can do it. How can Sierra Leone overcome all of these? This is something I've written about, because I have thought about each and every socio-economic problem we have in our country. I have come up with some idea as to how I think it should be addressed. I'm not saying my idea is the best, but I'm saying that whatever I put forward is better than what prevails now. With respect to airline, my thought processes are as follows. Work with the Mano River Union countries, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Come together, talk about establishing an MRU airline, allowing that big airspace. Every airline around the world would like to be able to have the right to that 4-country airspace, because Sierra Leone airspace is small. But if you brought it up to the Mano River Union, through that alliance with the 4 Mano River Union, the 4 Mano River Union will hold 45%, up to 45% shares of the new airline, and call another airline company like Ethiopian Airlines or Virgin Atlantic or any internationally renowned airline company to partner with us let's form the MRU airline.
So now brilliant
they will control the management, they will control the operations, we will have our own shares, and we give them right to our airline. If we can do that, to call it the MRU airline, we'll be the best and we'll be able to compete with Ethiopian Airlines or any other airline, because we have the people that have the technology, the know-how, and part of the finances. We provide it, they provide it, and we run the airline. That's the way Sierra Leone will be able to be part of owning an airline.
So it's a brilliant idea, but they blame Sierra Leone, for not having initiated, this Mano River airline idea where they espouse. Are you?
NGC will be able to do it if NGC is in governance. Those are stuff that our party will be, because you see, for the people, you have to have people in government that think outside the box, that have the clout to be able to present themselves in an international fair, not in an ESI business, listening to others to tell them, because you don't know. That is why you have to be bowing down because it's Nigeria, or because it's Ivory Coast, or because it's whatever, because it's Guinea. They are mighty. So when you go there into their conferences, you put your hands under your whatever, like a slave. No, not an NGC government. We'll portray, because we have power of the brain. We'll demonstrate that. When we go international meetings, we'll let them know our position, not because of the size of our nation, but the power of our intellect and the pride in ourselves. The pride in ourselves. Because you can have all the intellect, but if you have a mental slave, that intellect will be nothing. You will still be a mental slave.
But the other nations inside the Mano River Union can equally suppose their idea they are. So you not only need for come off from Salone. So are you implying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm not implying they don't have. No, I'm not implying that they don't have it. If they had it, why aren't they proposing it? All I'm saying, if NGC comes into power, NGC will propose it. We'll call a Mano River Union meeting and strengthen the Mano River Union. The secretariat will be strengthened. We're giving them a stronger kind of a legislative support to merge our economies, to bring about a way where businesses within the Mano River Union work together, build factories within the union. As long as those factories are built within the union, the kind of labor laws, we're going to liberalize our labor laws so that anybody in Sierra Leone that is educated as a biomedical engineer, as long as you learn French, you can go to Ivory Coast and get a job under the Mano River Union. Or anybody from Guinea that understands how to operate a machine in agriculture, he knows how to speak English, can get a job. We have to harmonize our trade laws, our labor laws, some of those things to create a Mano River economic zone. So it takes that type of leadership. It takes the right type of leadership. A leadership that has the clout to bring up some of those out of these are common sense ideas. It does not take a rocket scientist to think about these things, but you have to be concerned. You have to be really, really interested in solving problems for these ideas to come to you. If you're not interested, you don't even think about it.
Just let me make a short because I want to come to energy policy, but I want to let people feel inclusive with the very important questions when they ask you, which is very important that you're addressing them. I wish we get more time so that you can elaborate more. But there's also another question here which you don't touch on the periphery of them, but directly, what would be your human capital development plan if you were to come to power?
That's a very broad area, that one day. There's so much things involved in that. Because first of all, I want to make let's just address the first part of the question. Does the NGC believe that the government is what? Continuity. I don't understand what you mean. I feel saying NGC
whether government's not continuity. I think that's what the guy is trying to say.
Oh yes, a government like when an NGC comes to power. Let's say NGC comes to power in 2028. My own recommendation will be, because some of these things we have to put it to our policy team to whatever. I'm just sharing my own ideas as chairman, because a leader has to have a vision. That vision guides the body that you lead. So in this case, my recommendation will be, 1, we do a forensic audit of the entire government system. Forensic audit does not only limit to auditing the finances, but extends to auditing the structure of government.
Yep.
To know who are civil servants, professional civil servants, separated from political appointees. Now there is no line, no demarcation. You have half-baked political appointees will come and suppress civil servants that have served that nation for years, that have been there for years. Even though civil servants have their own problems, that is understandable. Those problems can be fixed. But you cannot have a half-baked political appointee just because they were jumping on the street yesterday, campaigning for some government person. They come to power, they fire civil servants. And those civil servants have no protection. We are going to institute laws that will enable anybody that is feel aggrieved, that is unfairly fired, to not only sue the ministry, but sue the very individual that fired you. So you sue both of them in court. So if you win, the person lose their job, you get reinstated, and your money is paid back to you. So people will be careful when they fire people that are civil servants. Just because somebody appointed you yesterday that you start serving for 5 years, you're going to and disrupt the entire civil service system. We're going to get a clear demarcation of the line of authority. You have systems today. Somebody will be the Director General of Sierra Leone Road Transport and Corporation. Then you have somebody who is serving as a secretary. Because that secretary is appointed by somebody in State House, they will not listen to that Director General of the Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority. When you talk to them, you say, come on, I don't give a heck. I didn't come to work. Cool, what do you want to do? You can't run a government like that. There is no discipline, man. No line of authority. We're going to do a streamline. If there is no discipline in the governance system, the nation, the people will not be disciplined. So NGC is going to institute discipline. Now, in coming to human capital development, it's a broad concept. It includes education, it includes healthcare, it includes a lot of different aspects. The current educational system, if we go into education, but this time there's no time in that, we have our own approach in terms of how to fix the shortcomings within our education system. We have our own approach in terms of how to fix our healthcare system. Then we have our approach, how to make sure all of those to bear on the development of the nation. For instance, let me touch on 2 areas on the education aspect that is not being done now. One, we are going to invest a minimum of 25 billion Leone, billion Leone, into the banking sector, enabling anybody that is graduating from high school, that wants to go to college. If you meet all the requirements to be admitted in the college, and you can prove that your parents are poor, and you're not able to get scholarship, you will be able to apply for a student loan, interest-free, for 4 years. That student loan will cover your tuition, you cover your boarding, and you'll cover your books for 4 years.
And just quick one, where will you
After
get
you, let me finish this. 20 billion Leones, that's small money, man. 20 billion, that's small money. That is very, very small money.
Okay.
We are wasting about $50 to $100 million on fraud, waste, and abuse in the current budget. Fraud, waste, and abuse. Raining down on fraud, waste, and abuse is going to be able to raise 10 times that money. You see, the politicians make it as if Sierra Leone is so broke that they cannot solve anything. It's because most of the money is stolen. So when they steal the money, they lie that money is not there available. There is money in the country. They just need a leadership to be able to make sure they manage the money well, so that those monies are invested in the areas that are supposed to be invested in. The second area, we're going to create internship. I want everybody to listen to this. We will create internship. When you graduate, or your final year, 6 months to your graduation, will they make you get internship in business system where you, now that area of discipline you go study. If you're a civil engineer, will they link you up with construction companies? If you're agricultural science, will they link you up with farming companies then? If you're other stuff then, will they make sure say we get partnership with Germany, Japan. When I talk about, when I mention a country, I become a country the way they get a work culture, creativity culture, where I admire so much. Where they make sure say the government and the European Union and Japan and perhaps the US are not too quite crazy about it, but let's say China and other side, South Korea, then start away in like a week, they not emerge from the poverty. Such that then we're able to bring real students there in for 6 months internship. If not the medical field, for let you graduate, if you don't serve 6 months, you do internship na some major hospital, na South Korea or China or England or America or whatever. Then partnership, then we're able to do a man. We just need the leadership where they're able to start and deal the day. So every year we get like 1,000 Sierra Leoneans they will send all over the world for go do internship for the last year of their graduation. Then come back and get experience, then bear them to waiting in land na college. Bam! It shoots the human capital development. But anyway, now a long topic. We need to forget a topic on that. We'll Shidom exclusively for discuss the issue.
Yes, on that. So Famulem, we talk to the acting chair of the NGC, very passionate man. He disagrees with me as he sound almost campaign like he did on the trail. But he's making the case here today, and this case will resonate for many months, if not years to come. He's none other but Jesmed Sumah. Don't touch that dial as we come to the second and final part where we want to talk about an energy policy where he articulated quite recently in the public domain, which is causing ripples. It's gone massively, overdrive. So the man himself will articulate that, so they can't talk to him about that. Keep tuned. All right, Fambulem, welcome to the second and final part of this very important program. Today, na the 16th of June, 2024. The time na Messiah is 18:45, and I believe so we'll go down this interview just in time. Like go watch England they play. We get the acting chair of NGC, the National Grand Coalition. He's made quite a powerful case, and very, very powerful one, and I'm kind of impressed. Like I say again before we take the break, he articulated an energy policy which by all measure is very, very super. But I want to look into this critically. So I want to begin by asking the man himself, the author himself. Jesmed, you articulate this energy policy recently on social media. It's gone viral, I can tell you that. There are thousands and tens of thousands who's listened to it. I've listened myself and I'm impressed. You know, to strange man when it comes to policy anyway. But there are holes here where I want for search in this energy policy, but we'll come to that. So outside this inspiration come out, before you articulate this particular energy policy, where so sound very, very smart.
Well, you see, the energy policy, just like any other problem we'll get in a salon. If anybody will care about the country, you'll be inspired for begin to think about solutions. Unfortunately, most of the people they never take the time to think outside the box. The best way for solve problems now when you think within the context of your own situation. You know, go use the same policy what they use now Bangladesh because Bangladesh fall like salon. Then you say that policy they don't put na Bangladesh, you can't bring Kenya salon. No. You therefore tailor them within the context of Sierra Leone because the socio-economic environment could be different. The culture could be different. There are so many factors. The natural resources, they're different, could be different. So, now then thing and they, and then the inspiration they come from. The fact that say and no say, Salone as a nation, we get what you take for to fix the problem. Then. The only problem we'll get now leadership. The moment we fix that leadership problem, we'll get people that will get talents inside Salone. We'll go to solve Salone problem. They only need a government who will give them the enable environment so that they will able to tap into their own creative mind and help solve the problem. Then. I can use Bill Gates and Steve Jobs as example. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, now first time millionaires, billionaires. They not inherit their money and then create them for themselves. But if then two people in a saloon and be born, wallahi billahi, they're not able to create that wealth day. Now the reason why they're able to create that wealth day, that ingenuity day, because they born an environment where the government don't create the enable environment for them to be able to tap into their creative mind and invent stuff. Now that kind of government they will need in a salon. The people don't want government handout. Handout no will ever solve problem. You got to just create the enable environment for that Peking will able to tap into a creative mind. You get a school environment where they're able to encourage creativity. You're able for can house, you meet food for it, so that you not go for worry, you have to go to attack before you come. I go study. I go to tap in creative mind. Where you get for worries and say the way the worry say you had the cost for going house. Because the members say where you go again, and they take for go to attack, and they take for go sell, and they take for can cook. You know, they even ready for it, even send a net. They go lead on back, the same circle begin. Who send the Peking go sit down for begin think and creative mind. So all we people need is a government that work for the people to create the enable environment so that the people, the God-given talents where God don't give them. Talent, then the people in this salon today will get sense like Muluku Suleiman. Where if God then get a government so able for take, give them that environment and go able for tap into their own creative mind and able for move the nation forward. That's where the inspiration is coming from.
Thank you very much for that. Just before I dive deep into this energy policy, on the basis of which you just say, because you are espousing the values of a potential NGC government, how they go act differently. But the idea is the NGC government, in my opinion, is going to be made up of the same people and what we call politicians. Yes, they will have moved from party to party as we see now. Which difference would the NGC make in terms of the same people that we get for cancer? As they see one win and jump can to you, and then they come with the same Rikishi and Monkey Blancan.
But we face right now, inside with party right now. You get the same Rikishi, whatever. But you see, the thing is, now make you find where the board plane, you forget a strong pilot. Where they jump inside motorcar, not rely on the apprentice, rely on the driver. If you get a guaranteed driver, anyhow that apprentice want for undermine stuff. If that driver they tough, we're not able for manage and move forward. So now that situation with this, so I get a few other people that way tough inside the NGC party. Together, we will hold the wheel and move this party to its final destination, the governance of Sierra Leone. And 2028 now they shoot for. Mark my words, we're not going to miss out of that. Some people they say and say, impossible stuff. The part of the reason why political parties don't fail all these years, now because of the leadership was always made up of the same crop of people within APC and SLP. So they had nothing different to sell to them. They had no principle to stand by. There was no ideological difference. They were not accountable to their members. They're not responsive to the concerns of their members. NGC has a different breed of leaders. As I say, with a battle with a few others, but there are a good number of leaders within NGC party that are solid, that are committed, that are unwavering. When we get to that point, we'll be able to cross over it. We'll fix the problems of Sierra Leone.
So you outline in your articulation of your energy policy, you outline many other areas of potentially where we could draw energy resource from, and you talk about sustainability. You talk a whole host of your things, which seems to me like an entire package, and one has to look deeply for probably loopholes if you like. But I noticed that your emphasis was on solar panel. Is that correct, sir?
One of it was solar panel. Yes, the emphasis is solar panel because three factors we take into consideration. The first one, every energy project is capital intensive, so the cost element is one. The second one is accessibility. what method will we be able to use that is not going to be too capital intensive, such that that person, now a village, inside Bauma village, go to get access to electricity. Or Segwema, go to get access to electricity. Or Bubuya, go to get access to electricity. Or somewhere in Apuja or Kaila or Kono, go to access to them. So accessibility was another one. The third one is affordability. Affordability. And the fourth one is sustainability. How we go able to create an energy system where it's sustainable. Right now, APC and SLPP then realize say they think capital intensive. If they say they invest into the energy capital intensive aspect of investing in the infrastructure, money no go left there and go put in their pocket. So then decide say, this wire we in a 5 year normal will for. So until we will push them to 10 years. Instead of 5 year day, we go for make the people happy quick. So instead of we invest the money for building infrastructure, now we go rent generator from one Turkish ship where they come on water. A generator that one know. Na generator, just like generator we get there use. Now then go rent at the CISO. How is that sustainable? It's not sustainable. Now additional drain on we foreign reserve. Already we spend over $200 million a year for service debt the way an Escoma don't be non taken this government. I don't know who's saying this government you debt they will begin for mature. For let will begin pay. But an Escoma in debt they alone we don't take. Now over $200 million now we spend every year for service them. Then you can't put another almost $1 million a month. We'll go for the pay to the Turkish ship. We'll go for pay back millions of dollars to the West African power pool where that electricity where they come up from whatever. Now I realize say, wow, this is not sustainable. So that's why we decided to narrow it on solar, because you get hydro, you get fossil fuel, which is not considerable. You get biomass, you get all the other options in there. They will decide say no, let us start with solar first. And the reason why we start with solar, because we were able for create a much greater access for residential energy supply for their homes and then small businesses, so then we'll be able to get immediate access to 24-hour electricity. Then the major light the way they come out from hydro bumbuna, the major light where they come out from the West African power pool, then we'll go directly for industrial development. So that somebody say I can build factory today where they convert coconut into coconut oil. The NGC government will tell you say yes, we say one bill alone, no. Will they begin run wire then 110. So you go get light in the factory from West African power pool and other sources that will they get and hydro they will get, so that we'll be able to support industrial development. But for them people and they light, now in homes and now in villages, now in town, the solar panel process, now will they embark on.
Yeah, with such a huge emphasis on energy sustainability, affordability, reliability, and are not hearing too much of emphasis on biomass way to me readily available. All the dirty the way we get it, all the waste where we get it, where we can easily convert to energy. I know inside the energy policy you espouse values them on this particular one, biomass, including hydro as well. We get for do with many. We get so much water that we are drowning in water. Half a year of rainfall, massive rivers. I think about 7 of them. How about?
But I tell you, say, solar is one of many options. We look at them on the basis of their capital intensivity, and 2, how soon we're able to pull out and get energy access. So when we don't get enough penetration with the solar, then we begin for they also look into investing in biomass, hydro, because the rivers then they run right through the length and breadth of Sierra Leone. Some of them rivers then you go able to create hydro, but again, even that aspect you get climate change, they affect the water level supply, where they affect hydros all over the world. Where imagine you don't spend billions of dollars into something, you're able for service just 10, 15, 20 years. They begin for worry, say what's another. So you have to think about the future. when you bring in some of the other technology, then you know the longevity of it in terms of how long it go for last.
Okay, fair enough. In you energy policy that you articulated on social media or generally on media, you conclusively say the extent you now conduct extensive research, and it proves say Sierra Leone na the least country where they put out electricity in order to people them. I was very much interested where you draw that data from, because I believe there are other countries that are beneath Sierra Leone. And one of the things then where you also cite, or country then where you cite, where you make example of, which to some extent is true, is Little Gambia. So I've been wonder how you equate these two, because in terms of landmass, coastline, energy, people, GDP, Gambia is like with population is 4 times the Gambian population. And yes, so they're able to serve their own people. How did you come to that conclusion, if you don't mind me asking?
The World Bank data, the statistics are all over. You get World Bank data, you get even the United States Treasury website. They'll get all the economic data, then they rent, and the IMF data. So that I make sure say I get from reliable sources, so that nobody no go say this no, I go fabricate data. You understand? Eh? So the energy penetration, that's alone, is below 27%. And that 27%, an average of 4 hours of electricity a day. Ghana, Senegal, Ivory Coast, and even the Gambia, they're all there above 30%. So they were 60, 70, 80% energy penetration. Like places like Ethiopia. Big as they are, big as their countries are, they are still able to penetrate energy at that level. Small as we are, less than 27%. After 63 years of independence. If you don't call land a failure, then I'm not sure what you go call failure again. Anybody where they're part of APC or SLPP, you are part of the problem. NGC is the only feature of the nation right now. If you want to be part of the solution, I don't care whether you this and that, you invest for NGC, this and that. If you mean well for Salone, NGC is the future of Salone today.
So you also talk about an energy, a very ambitious energy project in which you had a timeline, and this is good because it's time proven that within X period to Y period, which I believe you said between 2028, assumably when you will have come to power,
yeah,
to 2031. Yeah, okay, so I get that correct. You go increase the energy. I think you go double the current output of energy, and you calculate that or at a cost of $250 million dollar rather. Did I get that right, sir?
Yeah, $250 million.
Yeah, that's a quarter. Yeah. So me question here, Mr. Sumah. Yes, you did talk about costing, which is good. I've been just wondering who side you derive this money from.
First of all, with a pledge say between 2028, if the people of Sierra Leone entrust with the leadership of the country, and don't ever dream that it's not possible. It is possible. I have seen it. I know it's possible. All we have to do is to provide the right leadership within our party and the trust of our people, and they are going to support us to take up the leadership of our country. All we need is a runoff. Once we get into a runoff, in any of these two political parties, we will beat them hands down. There's no question about it. And we are saying if you entrust us with the leadership of Sierra Leone in 2028, by 2031, we will increase the energy penetration from 26, 27% to 55%. We will start off by one. We thought about sustainability. We want to partner with any company around the world, and I don't identify a few of them. You get Tesla, you get Sunrun, you get other companies in China. We get years of experience developing solar energy, deploying solar energy. Where we go talk to them and say, listen, we will open the African market for you guys. Let we start with Sierra Leone. Can't open a branch, Naya. We they prepare for invest $25 million or $250 million within a 5-year period. For let una start on a company now, we they buy shares into your company. So you not go assume all the risk. So you go spread your risk. You know, say at least 40 to 45% of your risk are being absorbed by us. Every investor will mean well for the country will be attracted by such a deal. The question is, as you rightly asked, who's that money they come up from? As I've been saying earlier, a lot of areas they lay where the money they come on inside salon. Let nobody fool you. One, as I mentioned, fraud, waste, and abuse will waste between $90 to $100 million every year on fraud, on waste, and abuse of government resources. I can give you 2-3 examples. One, do you know, say, the petrol where would they import inside salon? The petrol where they sell na treat. A good chunk of that petrol day, now government the consumer. When a government they take dollar for pay the importers then for the petrol government they use. And plenty of that petrol day, they give almost 1,000 liters to this, 1,000 liters to that one day, 100 liters to that one day, 100, 200 liters to that one day, 500 liters to that one day. Then they give them girlfriend all. We don't see how we know them. People that will get nothing for do with government. Then they get government cheap. So go take free petrol. NGC will put an end to that one day. That money they will save, will they invest them in the lives of our people. Do you know, say, the budgetary allocation when they give to their ministry, then they get some 40 million, 50 million, $100 million. Then they give some ministry like education. Only less than 30% of that budgetary allocation they go right into the people. The majority of it they go from wage and salary, fringe benefits, here and there, conferences, flying abroad, flying to Jericho, flying to Jerusalem, everywhere around the world, but the people of Sierra Leone. NGC is going to cut down on those wastages to save money to invest in the lives of our people. Do you know, say, we embassies them, each staff, it costs we government an average of $5,000 to $7,000 per month for each embassy staff. Now, all we embassies around the world, the ambassadors, we got to provide housing for them, we got to provide vehicle for them, we got to provide cook for them, we got to provide driver for them. If they fly from Washington, go to New York on an official duty, we got to pay them per diem. It's costing us hundreds of millions of dollars a year for sustaining we embassies. They get media attaché, they get education attaché, they get military attaché, they get this attaché, they get that attaché, because they use the embassies and they use the government as an employment agency for their political ponies. Them NGC is going to cut down all of those wastages to save money and invest in the lives of our people. Okay. Well, it takes leadership. You need to understand how the system works. If you don't understand how the system works, you know we will fix the problem. And some of us have taken the time to study how the system works, and we know how to fix it, and we will fix it.
Yeah. Just we come towards the end of the program in the last few minutes, but somebody just joined the platform who's been, throwing ad hominem at the guest. On this particular platform, I must re-emphasize this. This is a no insult zone. A no insult zone. Yaso, the market of idea, then now the exchange now can disagree or agree. That's fine. And we can trade them in and they through intellectual argument, collegial debate. That's what we do. We know they can't throw insults now. So many thanks, Tree, for bringing that.
In fact, I want to get a policy. Anybody will get nickname. Just disregard them comment.
Yeah, and I know.
So don't forget your real name. Let them show the real name.
Yeah, you're right.
When a freeborn, we're proud of his name and proud of his origin and know what they talk. Come up with nickname on social media. When they talk, they put your full name. Like me, when I send audio, the first thing I would say, this is coming from Jesmed Sumah, becoming a freeborn and I believe in what they talk.
So yeah,
so that's the type of people. So I don't even exchange with people that have pseudonyms because they don't even proud of their name. If person not proud of your name, I go one begin for the exchange word with them.
So that's all right, Jesmed. Over the many years that I've been doing this, and I know the tricks and the games, and you are absolutely right. You come with fake name. Now, obviously, because 95%, if not 99%, you're not sincere. You just come for be a mischief maker. So anyway, exactly. I mean, to those of us watching and those of us in the future who will be watching, if we don't forget, from day one, and this like about 7 years now, we need to entertain this now. I can disagree with somebody, but I find it difficult, for trade insults. And neither will I encourage anybody for throwing this at my guest. So we don't delete all the comments and we don't delete and ban the person who was doing that. I don't know, Marconi Times from Sierra Leone or somewhere. And many thanks again, Konotri, for bringing this to my attention. Jesmed, I want to come to the final point. I will have to bring you back again because there's so much for talk about. But I want to come to the final point, and this brings me back to the NGC party, within at the center, the fulcrum of this entire conversation that we don't get. Something very interesting, and I stand to be corrected. And I think you've corrected me on one or two things, which, i.e., I believe now the interim election, I'm chairperson, something where somebody may try for throw out there, but I was interested in it, and a few other things. The NGC party, as we be Sabiam, stand for be sort of progressive, sir. A progressive party. But yes, when I listen to your articulation on this particular policy of energy, there's a certain segment in there in which you talk about the NGC party as being to the center right. And I got a bit confused there about center right. So I break down to you what me understand about center right and center left. Just a brief history, and you say something quite important from the beginning, in which context matters, which I agree with 110%. In everything that we do, context matters. So in terms of left and right policy, it begins at the French Parliament. Some of us, or many of us, will understand that, depending on who side people and sit down. The people that will support progressive policies be sit down on the left, and those will get them conservative policies then be sit down on the right. But what does this mean? It means a government, they support regulation. And if they support regulation of businesses and the economy, it means you didn't have the right. If they allow, like free movement and they look after people and socially and etc., then you didn't have the left. So the NGC have been understanding now the left side of progressive politics, but when the acting chair come and say the NGC is center right, I am lost, especially within the articulation of the policy, which now for alleviate the suffering and help people who can afford, lift them up by them jack boots or straps or whatever. Will you elaborate, please?
Okay. Now, first of all, there are aspects of far left liberal concepts we may not subscribe to, because socialist principles have never succeeded, have never made any economic development and take a nation rise out of poverty. That's why China, after a long while, decided for do away of the socialist communist economic policy and embrace free market enterprise system. Ramek Russia, then look in, then shy away from the communist system. They embrace free market enterprise system. NGC is a party that believes in a free market enterprise system. We, I not say other person, me particularly, I do not believe in the government being in the business of running business. I am socially liberal, but fiscally conservative. I want to make sure there is a cost-benefit analysis of everything we will do, so that the government go able to carry on and continuously without having to be a handout government for the rest of the generations. We don't get this handout all these years since independence, we go for depend on the outside world for bailway. You need a government where we're able to restructure the system of governance such that you provide the basic fundamental safety net for our people and able for sustaining self and run and frugal in the way they run the affairs of government so that you go save money and invest. We not believe in levying heavy taxes on individuals and businesses. We believe in broadening the tax base so you have more businesses paying taxes so the revenue increases. Right now, the businesses in the suffer in the country because I see the government had up so they increase custom duty. I see them had up so they increase tax from people there. I see them had up so they increase way name. Well, NGC say, why you know they control that money where you get so you don't need for increase on the people? Why you know they help people and let them create more businesses so that the more money where you need, plenty businesses go there. Instead of one business pay 30%, then 100 business go pay 10%. They get more money. If you get 10 business, they all they pay 30%. Well, we say, no, 10 business small. Let broaden now make an 20 or 1,000 business. So that they all go pay just 5% or 10%. So that the tax base, it go increase. That is what we mean by central right. We have to have concepts where they understand the way the economy they run and also able to protect certain values them. When are we on values? We not go want for let all kind culture come out from all side can mess up. We only to African values and what we don't respect. Blah. So we therefore be guided. Everything has to be looked within context. And within that context, and the Sierra Leonean interest stands above all. Sierra Leonean values stand above all. As long as it is one that is able to lift our people out of poverty. That's all our focus is. Now let's come to the energy policy. The issue about the energy policy that I didn't touch on, I thought you were going to ask us, is how are we going to deploy this solar system? We talked about affordability of the energy. Point not there for let go say electricity, the people are not able to afford that. Right now, to the experience and say people are the thief light. Part of the factor now because the one the way they control the light system, then self and enforce the ministry. If the ministries are not they pay light bill, the agencies are not they pay light bill. Sometimes the people are where they work now X are not they pay light bill. Sometimes some of the ministers are not they pay light bill. Sometimes some of the permanent sectors are not they pay light bill. The way you're now, instead of we quiz and let them pay their own first, they go squeeze per mosque, they go squeeze per church, they go squeeze, they go make disgrace other people. Them. We own system, and they first will they begin. From state house, take down to parliament, say every agency of government, all man they see say they don't pay their own light bill. Then would they institute a system when an energy conservation policy. Now salon they see, some man they blast the electricity, they blast the air conditioner, they open the domot. Whereas he say it's too cold. I don't see them plenty. He open the domot, if they can inside. I say, but why you open the doors where the AC? But the place too cold. I say, but you not gonna reduce the AC if it's too cold. I light it the one I want. I light it the way so. And a government light. That's the mentality. We will change that mentality so that they get value for asset, value for property. The next one, the partnership where we they get with the solar company where they can establish a solar company as alone. Will they make sure say then train within 5 years, they don't train Sierra Leoneans them in collaboration with the University of Sierra Leone. Then train Sierra Leoneans them with electrical engineering, train Sierra Leoneans on the management aspect, train Sierra Leoneans on the how to run projects, so that technology and knowledge in the Brink camp, they're able for train Sierra Leoneans within 5 to 10 years, so that we go able for gradually able for manage the company with or without them. The next one, we examine homes, we examine essential businesses like clinics and hospitals and schools. We determine the energy need. We determine the affordability, the amount of money where the household is able to provide. We say how many solar panels you need for let go provide electricity in this house. We provide the solar panel based on the level of electricity the household will need. We divide the cost by the number of months or years based on the income level. If na person will get small half, sometimes if we pay for inside 1 year. If na person will not get better half, sometimes we'll spread inside 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, sometimes even 5 years. So that same amount, if you spread them, the amount of the person they pay per month, it will be smaller. But it will guarantee say that solar the way it will provide 24-hour electricity. Because they get a backup, a battery backup. Then you get a contract with the company for do maintenance. So you get maintenance contract and the payment of the solar system. We spread the cost because of we investment at the company. Then they offset that risk the way the company is supposed to worry about because we don't invest $250 million. So person go inside Kono district. You don't need for camp free for get electricity. You will get electricity in Akailaun. You will get electricity in Falaba. You will get electricity in Bont. You will get electricity in Moyamba. You will get energy in Pujaun. You will get electricity in Tonkolili, Putloko, Cambia, Falaba, Karine. All inside the day. I know we'll talk about Freetown. We'll push camp and shop. Where the Turkish man and then take the generator, then vex power. We then shut down the generator. The entire world laugh with. Everywhere in the world, and see say salon not get light. Why? They say because Turkish man vex power. Our we own system now. World man don't get your own solar panel. That's now one. The second one now, we get that West African power pool. We get the Bumbuna hydro. We invest some money inside and then so that them money then they electricity and go into industrial development. Anybody want to open factory, you get guaranteed life. As long as you work with the government, NGC government, we go work with you for give electricity. So they will open factory.
So many thanks. They come to all of that, but they take them from a different turn because okay. I really get a little bit confused here, Mr. Sumah. First of all, I try to look at your background and previous conversations with you. Probably I don't forget or I get them wrong, but you did harbor some Pan-Africanist views. You are typically, pro-African. Did I get that sentiment?
Of course I am pro-African.
Yeah.
I'm pro-African. Yeah, but as I said, I'm a Pan-Africanist who is socially liberal, but fiscally conservative.
Yes, I get you. I don't know how the two work together, but certainly maybe
it works together.
So yeah, but then we could articulate this to the Chinese sort of development of their own kind of system. So that extreme communist, aka socialist system, what I mean, then fuse them into some form of market economy, which then they do well with. Is that a similar kind of principle you're speaking to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Understood. But then again,
for instance, let's give you a few examples.
Okay.
For instance, I personally believe the next day we'll get a discussion on the economy. I go delve into Randy more, but let's touch on this. For fight poverty, it's not only about making people earn money. That's just one aspect of it. Because the money where they earn, if the basic amenities of life, they're not able to get access to, and the money don't mean nothing. Today, millionaire in a salon, he gets a greater risk in life than poor man in New York. Because poor man in New York, I see for them call 911, emergency must come down inside 5-10 minutes. Millionaire in a salon, he get money, so money. He get heart attack today. So tell them go call hala na window. Hey, unakamo, in money no go save am. So the issue about fighting poverty is making people have access to the basic amenities of life. So you need a government where go create a system where go make the issue of healthcare affordable. The issue of education, where according to statistics, Africa, the individual they spend between 30 to 40% of their income on education. We as government go reduce that one day. When you make education accessible to the poor, you don't make an equal to the rich. Because the same knowledge where the rich man get access to, you don't make the poor man don't get access to them. Healthcare, the way rich man go able to take plane today, you go Las Palmas, you go Gambia, you go Ghana, or you go India, or you go America, you go Germany. The poor man don't get that opportunity today. But if you build a good healthcare system, that poor man they not go to spend No need for spend all that plenty money there. You don't make an equal with the rich man. So that's how you gap income inequality. That's how you gap the. That's how you close the gap between the rich and the poor by investing in social amenities. That's what the NGC is all about. Creating an enable environment that reduce poverty by making it easier for poor people also to have access to those basic amenities of life, such as shelter. Like we are now we budget all they present, we get housing, we get a budget line where every year we build affordable housing by region every year. If now 5 million, say $5 million or $10 million, however small, but we budget a line, we must get a line item where they say affordable housing for the poor. No government within APC and SFP get that kind of line of budgetary allocation there.
Okay.
We own budgetary allocation, go get farm subsidy, an item for farm subsidies where they allow the government, where they make the government able for support farmers the way they produce, not the farmers the way they can't talk politics. So, because right now, all the agricultural policies where they good inside them two government here, now farmers the way sabi talk politics. When they bring tractor on that power, we been a support campaign for them and that chiefdom day. Now then they go give. Not to that farmer we get farmer. We own policy. Now that farmer will produce, we give more money. We produce more, we give more money. So who that produce more now they get. So if you start talk politics, you not start produce, you know get. Who that start produce now they support. That's the kind of policies. That's what I mean by central right policy, political party.
All right, many thanks for that. Again, just before we end the program, there was a lot said again in the audio, and some of them, you know, even though they are realistic, but they sound alien to us in the kind of society where we come from.
Well, you're right about that.
In any shape, sense, or form. One thing where you touch on again is economic liberalism, where you say a political party such as NGC under your leadership will be embracing, you know, yeah, going forward. I wonder whether you want broke that down to we, you know, yeah, Paul Mami na village, Mami, you know, yeah, na village, so that they go able to understand what is Jesmed really talking about. If you will have to earn my vote, this economic liberalism, you know, where will they confuse between the left and the right, market economy, as John Adam, you know, yeah, articulate. How do we understand all of this? With society not that sophisticated, are we?
We're not.
Yeah, so help we please.
For instance, we continue with a system we're possibly in a village, like a place like Samu, when one of the rice bed, the bedrock for growing rice, where in season come, you still see people and they rely on imported rice because rice not there. Under NGC government, we're not going to allow that. Instead, we go support the people and put policies in place. We go make them a requirement for let them be able to save some of them output, a certain percentage of their output for a season. Then help them for change from that subsistence farming and form cooperatives with other farmers, register as business because we are business-oriented political party, and support the business instead of support the individual. So that they begin to get the market orientation mindset, the economic cost-benefit mindset, through policies and through actions of government. Now I'm going to make people and begin to see value into the stuff that where they grow. If we realize say you get plenty mango where they grow, but then mango then they rotten because we're not there for process them into juice or process them into the market where you don't go point a road, then we provide support for you. Support provide for that particular region based on the economic value where that region there, that district, that village there, that chiefdom they provide. Now in they dictate the amount of support who they put into that particular side there, for get the people and get the enabled environment, for create their own businesses, own their own source of revenue, and run their own life instead of waiting for government for the give a handout. Right now, we not get a social safety net. So government no dey give handout. So what thing and do the politician and couch the situation such that the people and depend on the politician. That's how the system is. So that the people then become enslaved to the politician. Well, NGC is going to change that. You're not going to look up to your politician. They are not the ones that should run your life. We are going to create a system that you will have to be able to stand up and rise up and earn your own income. So you know that politician for the come back to you now. Because you are economically independent from depending on the politician.
Yeah, Mr. Sumah, many thanks. You know, yeah, it's been a brilliant interview so far, and there are many points, you know, yeah, that I have come to appreciate. And this is I'm speaking truth to power. And one of the things that I will never forget about in this interview today, which I will have said at the conclusion, although we're already concluding, will be the humility here shown. I'm really concerned about that because I've seen people, for all the wrongs that they've perpetuated against the Sierra Leonean people, known and unknown, basically politically, socially, economically, they don't have that courtesy to come in front of the people whose consent they seek when they want political power to say, I'm sorry. But Mr. Jesmed Sumah has said that here today, which I'm really proud of. Just before, for conclude this program, the last two questions come from people with the platform. One question say, how will a Jesmed Sumah government deal with institutional corruption? And then the second one says, will you as a government rely on foreign aid, loans, and grants as a budgetary support or supplement when you take the reins of government?
Very brilliant question. Well, I come to the issue about institutional corruption. All I take the foreign aid, in short, institutional corruption will belong. The foreign aid aspect. My own concept, my own belief, my own ideas I'm going to inject into government. One, we'll put a 5-year freeze on loan. 5-year freeze on loan. So man go say, how government go survive if you able to take loan? There's a difference between loan and grant. We go appreciate grant when are free. We go appreciate donation when are free. We go embrace aid when are free. But we will put a freeze on loan until we don't institute the right laws and policies for protect the system. Because the way the system is right now, the executive branch gets a complete leeway in taking loans as often as possible and as many as possible, as from anywhere as possible, because then they control the legislative branch in such a way that then the rubber stamp no more, pam, anything them present. And yet, the young grandpicking themselves, put in the bond. Sometimes then go for the can begin pay, then they can. But because they're selfish, they don't care about the picking them, they don't care about the grandpicking them. And then your movement at this moment, how did they do that? Then they begin bribe themselves, increase fringe benefits for parliamentarians, give them free motorcar, free housing, free clothing, free wardrobe allowance, and kind of stuff. Then in addition to the salary, so that parliamentarians will just rubber stamp within the Brink camp. So a freeze, 5-year freeze. So what will be the alternative? What will be the condition? The condition will be with the IMF, World Bank, and the other international community. Listen, if you guys want to help us, please, we welcome the help. But we don't want any more loan. All we want is a freeze on loan payment. The current loan the way we get. Give it chance that we recover and build with structure. So we're able to pay the loan. But for now, get a freeze. So that we don't need to go take any other loan. What does that do? That will free between $100 to $200 million every year. Between $100 to $200 million, then we pay every year out of a budget for pay for the debt then, where the previous government don't take. We own government will talk to the loan, the debtors, the foreign donors, the domestic one that will get for pay out of we own revenue they generate, and still we don't need dollars for pay them. Like then people who don't give contracts for go bill and this and that, so go pay them the loans. But the foreign debt, we go plead, we go begin negotiation from day one, for let them put a freeze on loan payment. We go enable we not for pay existing loan for 5 years, we go write them into an agreement So that money they will save, will they invest them on the condition that who have not they ask for no more loan for 5 years. That they will give you the enable environment for investing money then they into the structures. And then we begin go after them and they will be given loan then they. Let's say if you don't turn grandpa the whole stick so. We'll go find out how you take them loan then they. Who say you sign that contract? Waiting at the thing the way you do them. If you not do, I will say, listen, one big hospital, children's hospital or senior hospital in Makeni, it will cost me $10 million. That money will chief. Lord put inside the first. Or one bill, some kind of educational library na potloko. Oh, now the government can know so. We understand say you don't chief 10, 15 million. We're lucky first na jail until the bill la library day. Or na bond. One bill another airport na bond, so we turn on tourist center. The budget na 100 million. We understand say you will fly goal or try this and that way and they all the money then the picking will not get them. Go there, go wait first na jail, say pull out money there. Don't let them sell your assets. You work there at street, you will go sell and picking and they get access to your asset there. When they sell and then bring the money, we'll free you back. So that will build the people in a bond. When you tailor the fight for corruption to the needs of the people, now you will get much impact. Because the people who want to go fight for it say, this if you start go fight for and just now, that hospital they want to build now. That's a boy man, they're not going to build now. Because I like money the way it's if they can bring up for build as a boy man. Like what you know, yeah? Let them deal with it, let bring the hospital. You see the logic? Now, how do you fight institutional corruption? Hey, let's tell you something. There is no way you go fight corruption, national or any country, if the leadership corrupt. Period. That's rule number one. If the leadership corrupt, period, there is no way you go fight corruption. So you need a leader will get a history, a background in making sure that it is above board. If you bring somebody will be non part of an institution and a corrupt institution, wallahi billahi, you're wasting your time. I'll give you an example. If you're in a club, you're the president, the financial secretary, not to get control of all money where they go in and out of the club.
Absolutely.
Are they asking now? Good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now any money go lost at that club day, where the financial secretary no?
Of course not.
Good. Well, that's the exact role. Now the exact role Samura Kamara don't do for the past 15, 20 years before APC come on power. From Tijan Kabatem, even from NPRC term, he was financial secretary. He don't serve as financial secretary. He don't serve as minister of finance. He don't serve as bank governor. All side where money to go in and out. So anybody will care about Salone. If you look somebody where it has been the heartbeat of the corruption at Salone, you say they make him president. Wallahi billahi, you're wasting your time. It means you're not like Salone. You're not ready for fix Salone yet. So as I say again, to fix the corruption, it starts with the leadership. Then the next one, changes in the legislature. Now, if I put law, say, some of the laws that where me don't write already, where me know say, if we see take governance, we begin push for fight corruption, we put, let's say, put a law, say, you where they give bribe, because corruption is broad, not only bribery, then get other aspects, and they will just focus on bribe. You where they give bribe, and you where they take the bribe, when are all guilty of a crime. And corruption is not a civil offense, it's a criminal offense. This current government, they treat them like a civil offense, like paddy business. We in government, when you thief $10,000 worth of money or loans or whatever, the law what they put, you they pay a fine when at twice the amount of money where they don't fine you for. So if you don't thief $10,000, you fine at $20,000. Then you they pay restitution, then you refund that money where you don't thief. Then at $30,000. Then you go a minimum of 6 months jail. That night after you don't pay the fine, you don't pay the money. If you pay the money where you thief, the $10,000, but you need to pay the fine, 6 months plus 2.5 years, then at 3 years jail, now you go. If you not pay the fine, you not pay the money back, a minimum of 5 years. The law with a shaper in a way, the judge not get no power for reduce them. He get power for add power, but you don't get power for reduce them. But what thing they happen right now, the way they write the law, when I examine the anti-corruption law, then shift them from the the government you own, the executive branch, into the court system. For instance, I'll give an example. Then say if they find somebody guilty, you will be fined a minimum of maybe 300 million leones and or a jail time. That and or now the judges they rely on. So what's in they mean? Somebody thief 10 billion leones, then find and guilty. Since the law say then they fine you a minimum of 300 million leones and or jail. So the judge get a discretion for fine you just 300 million leones because that's what the law say. And or he give jail time, since he get that or the judge can say, okay, well, the man say go say, okay, I don't thief 10 billion. The judge get the power. Let's take 1 or 2 billion, I go give judge. Judge go say, okay, everybody man go here, 300 million. That's not to encourage corruption. And that is exactly what is happening in Sierra Leone. That is exactly how the law is written. Because the law is written by the thieves that are going to continue the stealing. So if you allow thieves to write the law, they say write a law for can't catch you. You know, like that one day. They write a law for let get a loophole for let way name. So because of that, that is the situation. Now then change the law. Where this new anti-corruption guy, he said you go pay restitution. In other words, the money where they find you guilty, you will go for refund them before they come find you or whatever. So what thing they don't do now? Now the case don't even go court against them. Then they arrange and they not make them party business. How you go fight corruption? The case don't even go court. Yes, they say don't make arrangement, make deal. You know why? Because women are thief, man are the thief. And they catch somebody for thief. I go for take time because tomorrow then say go catch me tomorrow. So that's what works in their head. So when a thief is responsible to man the doorpost to avoid thieves, they will make compromise with the thieves. But if you put like an NGC, where there people are ready for fix the system, they will not compromise with the thieves. So if somebody knows, say, if you thief $10,000, then go find you $20,000, then you refund the $10,000, then you go 6 months jail. Then if that you not go down, if you not pay that money, you go 3 year jail. If you not pay that money, you not pay the refund, not pay the refund, you go 5 year jail. Then, in addition to the one day, the government will get the power for seize any property in your name. Any property, any side in your name. Then the government, they ban you for going to politics for 10 years. If they ban you for 10 years, not forget government job. 10 years, you not forget government contract. All land they go in at the law. So when they find somebody jail, they find somebody, they don't lost your job. They don't put you jail. They don't seize your property for payoff that one day. The next person will think twice. The next law they put, if you go to somebody like a minister, a permanent secretary, he say, but I want that land in at okay. Oh, they're saying a government land, no worry, that man will get out, they go seize and panam. Just give me something no more. You give the person maybe 10 million or 20 million and you don't bribe with that one day. By NGC law, they push within 7 days, period. Within 7 days, period. If any of the two parties go report the occurrence of corruption, a bribery, for instance, the person will go report will be exonerated from prosecution as long as you serve as witness for prosecute the other one way involved. So what do they mean? If you don't go meet permanent secretary, you don't go get 10 million for go seize land, that's okay. Inside that 7 days day, if that permanent secretary go report, they say, hey, this fire can't give me 10 million. Look at the evidence. I get the video. I get somebody. I get secret camera who record them. You, the permanent secretary, then go use you for prosecute that party, then jail them. If that party self grab within that 7 days, you go report. They say, that permanent secretary at the Ministry of Land, I don't go get 10 million. No. 5 days ago or 6 days ago. Look the evidence. I get the video clip. You will go report. Then go exonerate from prosecution and prosecute that one day. So what they do is, if they make the person where they give the bride and the person where they take the bride and go there and cut out for 7 days, not knowing what the other person will do. But the thing is, you don't get a loop way for trap themselves, then get out the law. Don't get authority for where you name them. The other law they put, anybody where they are these books right now, we're in the first time, where participate in the aiding and abetting of the commission of an act of corruption is equally guilty of an act of corruption. So what do they mean? You, the messenger, secretary, when you know say your minister, not to the vote controller of the ministry, don't tell you say take these 10 boxes of money, put an in motor car, let them carry and go now bank, go put an in personal account. You know of that one day. You not go report. You are aiding and abetting corruption. Because if you get doubt, you say, hey, this not to the vote corrector, not to minister in the campaign money. Why this minister forget 200 million a bag where then they go put in a bank account? I don't know, with me, na secretary, before inter-corruption can meet me, like call them once I tell them. Anti-corruption, yesterday, I see the minister, so, but they are, my name on no way anymore. Anti-corruption, we don't know. You don't cover by law. But if anti-corruption find out, then go begin ask, who done the person who load the money them? Who done the person who drive them? Who done the person who go in them? Then go ask them, where you been know them say, I been called me? No, I'm not been called because, okay, well, the law say if you don't call me, because you get out. Where you not call me, we go prosecute you, they go for 6 weeks at jail. Where you put them law then they? Yeah, last year the man they corrupt, who I go can't help for like I help him. The man the way they help herself now, then first you go begin pray. The third one, in any investigation of the act of corruption, when they find somebody, like say somebody is trying for smuggle gold and diamond at the airport, you the custom officer, you the policeman, you able for capture that one day. They arrest them, then prosecute them. 15% of the value goes to you directly. 15% of the value goes to you. Then they incentivize the police, incentivize the custom officers them. Not for take bribe, because not for take bribe. If somebody a thief $1 million worth of diamond, you go catch that one day, brah. 15% by law, they get up. Brother, they go even drive you. You go make any drive you. So changes in the law. Now make I say, una trust NGC out of the box solutions to a problem na NGC gets. I will go fix Saloma. Do ya una find way for join we. Lord move this country forward. We own commitment now for fix alone and we able for fix them. We get Master Sabi people as our party. We're committed for the one. Thank you.
Okay. Again, it comes as no surprise. I mean, the brother is known for articulating his views very thoroughly. Of course, it doesn't come as a surprise. I'm pretty happy that he took the call. And it's important. You don't have to be a sycophant. You've got an agenda. You've got to speak to the people. And exactly. If you have people that you don't trust, sometimes you have to take on them, to prove it, like what I've been saying is kind of right. And you use the medium and the media to transmit your message. So we are a vessel. And we are happy that the brother appeared on the platform and he's made a very strong and powerful case. And this is going to resonate for many months, if not many years to come. In 2028, we might think that is very far away, but so was 2012, so was 2018, so is 2023, and 2028 will soon be upon us. Jesmed, it's always been a pleasure, my brother. Many thanks for coming on the platform, and I hope to see you again shortly.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, so if anybody, let me make this quick comment. If anybody wants to join NGC, plus 232-7575-9090. Now WhatsApp, when I send message to that NGC line there, 232-7575-9090. Automatically, somebody will reach out to you, or let go see I go join the party, we'll move forward. Or you can send them directly to me, +1-908-759-4332. +1-908-759-4332. Welcome you, we welcome on all. Now join we love move with nation forward.
Jesmed +1-908-759
4332.
All right, many thanks for that. Okay, Fambulev, this is it. We've come to the end of a very, very beautiful program, and I enjoyed it myself. I'm a happy Eid to everybody. When I can see the guest himself, he inside in regalia, befitting the occasion. I mean, you can't have it better than this on the Den and Now podcast.
But also put the salon number +232 7575.
Just wrapping up now. Let me just see.
+232 7575.
Say that again. Plus 232.
7575
Yeah.
9090.
9090. Join NGC. Yeah. Okay. So when I see the number, them na the
Screen.
na the screen. Those of you who may have been impressed by waiting the acting chairman get for say tonight, which was a very powerful sermon, a sermon on the mount. Although you disagree with me, because I mean, to me, every step of it, not every step of it, but largely, was making the case for his party and the future of the party. And indeed, that's where we end. Why you should join the NGC. Not only say so, the chairman himself says so. So if you get interest in joining the NGC, that's the salon. I mean, that's the American number down there, +1 908 759 4332. We also have a salon number. If you want to join, the salon number now +232 7575 9090. And let's face it, let's be honest about this. Let me just give a parting shot to this. It's obvious that we've had the opportunity of 63 years of knowing certain political parties. As a consequence of knowing these parties, I have no how do I put this? I'm looking for the appropriate word, but have no regards, no any regrets, or even hope for that matter. Because why? We've got something proven. Me, Alex Science bad one. Because when you put this together for perform an experiment, you they get the conclusion, and the conclusion 99.999% are always correct. So we had 63 years of these two parties. So I mean, people like us have been advocating, despite what these sycophants, the psychotic behavior of some, you have to say, I must address it as such. But we've been looking for a way out, something new, because you have to rise up to the occasion when it comes to country. You have to be able to distinguish between your country, which is more important than your party, any political party, or anything else. Because the common dividend for every one of us is we stand under either the flag or within this 32,000 square miles that we call Sierra Leone, which is our country. No Sierra Leonean is greater than another Sierra Leonean. But when politicians come to us and seek our consent, they bring these manifestos, just like how Jesmed has done here tonight. That is because they want something from us. So we sign a social contract when they seek our consent, and we give it to them. We have all right, if they don't perform, to question them. And for 63 years, we've borne witness to this. How long more can we bear? And this is my question to all Sierra Leoneans. I end the program by saying, join me tomorrow as I host one of Sierra Leone's biggest talent, Innocent Fela Kuti. He will be performing in London, and we're going to be talking about that. He will be on this platform right here tomorrow. Believe me not. Thank you very much. Jesmed, all the best, brother. Take care.
Thank you, my friend.
To you, all the fans, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you share this vibrant message. Goodbye. Until tomorrow.